Life and Teaching of the Masters of the Far East, Volume 3, Chapter 3. After the meal was finished, we arose from the table, our hostess leading us into the garden. To our great surprise, we found Jesus, Emil, Jast, and Budra seated. We joined the group and sat down. We could sense the inaudible sigh of relief and realized how much we had grown to rely upon these people. It was as though we had fastened ourselves to them with bands of steel. Somehow I saw this we must not do. It was necessary for us to play our definite part in this great scheme of life in order that we might not become mere puppets. We must stand wholly upon our own feet and rely wholly upon ourselves, or they would be obliged to sever the bands entirely. Our chief talked freely upon this subject matter. The evening was still young, and the soft glow of the fading sunset colors suffused everything with a luxuriance and beauty that one must see to appreciate. There was not a breath of air stirring, not even a sound to disturb the tranquility that seemed to engulf us. The bandit situation that we believed had weighed so heavily upon us but a moment before had disappeared entirely. It was calm and peaceful. There was that beautiful feeling of complete relaxation which again must be experienced to be understood. It was as though we were in a great stream of slowly moving light. We became suddenly aware that we heard the voice of Jesus, but not in words. My only explanation is that it was a pure rhythmic, flowing, vibratory influence that came to us in thought instead of words. The effect was much more pronounced than that of words. The rhythm and cadence were beyond description. Thoughts seemed to flood in and lodge. This was an entirely new experience. As these thoughts or ideas came, we translated them into stenographic characters, then transposed them into words and sentences, later submitting them to these people for approval. When I say, "Behold, a Christ of God is here," I behold the God-man standing forth. I see this body as the true temple of God, the perfect instrument or channel through which the great creative principle flows and comes forth freely. Then this creation is unadulterated in image, form, and likeness. I am God. In this attitude, I stand forth the master of every situation, the Christ of God triumphant. It is this ideal that I worship, and that which I worship I bring forth. I can in no way bring forth God if I does not present God to all humanity. In this attitude, man stands forth the master of every situation. The Christ is triumphant, conquering. God and man are walking hand in hand, one. This is but one principle, one man. One of our party thought for a moment and then asked, "How can we bring forth this light and make practical use of it?" The answer came, "Let your body become a generator through which this great creative radiating principle flows. See this principle as the emanation of all power. Know that it is the principle of all power. Then, like an electric generator, your body will collect and magnify this energy until you send it out as a stream of pure white light that nothing can resist, and anything directed towards you cannot harm you. You can also send such intense impulses of electrical energy over these light beams that the body of the one attempting to harm you will be destroyed. Any resistance to this energy immediately magnifies its volume and therefore its velocity. The one setting up resistance against it or attempting to set up their personal will only harm themselves. If they do not set up any resistance to this light, it will pour its healing balm through them as well as it does through you. It is the pure God beam and power which blends with that of another at all times if there is no resistance to its free flow. It vibrates with the highest vibration. Consequently, all are vibrating in perfect harmony and accord, and no harm can possibly come to them, as they are in unison with the God vibration. There is absolutely nothing that can harm another unless that one resists the God vibration. Vibration is life. Do you not see how you stand one with God at all times? In this attitude, would there be a possibility of separation? The only separation is the resistance that causes the inharmony. Nothing can come near you when you stand in the holy mount, one with God. This is not a special privilege for a few, this is for all. I am the great absolute cause or source in which every child stands one with God. Thus all live under the law, the highest vibratory thought action. There is not an inharmonious vibration that can enter this sphere, this throne, where all belong and are at home. This is your divine kingdom. You can also use this power to return false and harmful thoughts or desires that are directed toward you. You can, if you so desire, step up this white God light beam, endow it with God power, magnify and transform the energy the sender has given the thing or condition that was intended for you, then place it into your reflector and send it back to the sender with the velocity of light. When you return it in this way, it is a beam of pure white light instead of merely lowered vibrations as it was sent out to you. When it reaches the sender, the impulses are so potent that it can destroy the body of the one who first put in motion the lower vibration. It matters not whether you know the sender or the location from which it came, the vibration will return to its source unerringly. The judgment or day of retribution has arrived. As you give, so you receive good measure, God measure, pressed down and running over. You can transform God power and send it out with such force that it is irresistible. These are the beams or rays of light that you see emanating from my body. These rays are emanating from your body, although they are not yet as potent. But as you go on and use this power, allied with law and principle, you will add potency to the light and can consciously direct it to accomplish any good desire. When the artist portrayed me at Gethsemane, the rays of light went out from my body instead of coming out from heaven to me. The light is the God power generated from within my body, then sent out by the reflector. These beams go out from everybody when that person stands forth as God and his divine heritage, the Christ of God, all one. This is and can be made the definite motto of all humanity. Can there be discord between brothers if they become this all-absorbing one? Now step up this white beam, which is the God beam upon which you send out God power, endow it with God power transformed 10,000 or 10 million times greater than that which has been sent out to you and which you are returning. This is as you decree. Then let it flow back upon the same path that the vibrations of the thing travel to you. When the person receives this ray and accepts it as coming from God, the attempted harm is all erased, forgiven, forgotten, and no harm can come to you or the sender of that harmful thought. You are both eye to eye, one with God. Instead of inharmony, there is perfect harmony. You are again one. If the sender of the harmful thought does not accept the white ray which you have sent out in all its potency, his body will be destroyed. This pure white ray will completely erase every vibration of harm or discord if allowed to complete its perfect work. If resisted, there is nothing but a perfect erasure for the one who holds determinedly to the resistance. His resistance draws to him the whole creative principle adversely as to the square of the resistance set up. The square means multiplying the resistance 4 times. Thus you see that as you send out good or evil, it will return to you fourfold. You are standing forth as the Lord or law, giving forth good or God for evil, but even in this attitude, be truly humble, judge not. Place every bit of love you possess upon this pure white ray, and see well to it that it is pure love of God that you are generating and sending forth. As you accomplish this, legions are at your command. You are still meek and humble, willing to follow on with the light. It is the pure light of God that you follow, and that light is life, love, purity, and beauty, eternal and profound. There are 7 centers in your body that can be used as reflectors. You can cause these central points to glow with a radiance far greater than any artificial light, and when you wish to send out this light, it glows with a greater potency and will reach farther than any electrical beam that can be projected. By setting all these centers aglow at the same time, you are completely surrounded by an armor that nothing can penetrate. You can send out the pure white ray of God so energized that your body actually glows with the brilliancy far greater than that of the noonday sun. You stand forth, Lord of creation, the Lord of hosts. You stand forth true and triumphant, yet peaceful, loving, God enthroned in your body, and that body beautiful, spiritual, and divine. As these vibrations came to us, the light emanating from the bodies of Jesus and his group was most definitely to behold, yet there was that vibrant brilliancy shining through which resembled liquid gold. To our vision there seemed to be an indefiniteness, while to all the other senses there was the solidity of rock. Again, the vibrations came. In this way, you can make your body completely invisible to mortal sight by focusing your entire thought fully and definitely upon the pure white God ray and letting it go forth from the 7 centers as reflectors in unison. Then again, you can step right out on either of these rays and present any picture that you wish to those that would do you harm. You can follow on this beam with the exact speed of light and go where you will instantly. Your body is invisible to those who do not see through and beyond the mortal. They are aware that there is something they do not understand. Thus, they are not susceptible to any picture you wish to present to them. That which they do not understand is mysterious or supernatural, and the faculty which is developed through suspicion or superstition is easily misled. Thus you send out love to those that would do you harm, and the energy they release reflects back to them. The picture of harm they have sent out depicts the lower man of each one fighting that which they believe to be their enemy, when in reality they are fighting the picture of their own lower selves. These pictures change the closest friends into enemies and array brother against brother. Should this band still persist in their threatened attack and raid, they will destroy each other. They now have the opportunity of leaving the distinct and its inhabitants unmolested, or they will turn and destroy themselves. Man cannot attempt to destroy his brother without meeting the same fate for himself. We send only the pure white ray of God love to them, and if they resist that love with hate, malice, or revenge, they, of their own free will, turn that ray into a flame that will consume them. You need have no fear. We offer only love and have no power to compel them to accept. If the bandits come with love, there will be no conflict. Our cause is already won. At this juncture, a call came that there was a messenger approaching the village. We went out to meet him. He told us that the bandits had discontinued their raids and were peacefully encamped about 20 miles from the Tau Cross and had not harmed any of the inhabitants or their possessions since the appeal for help, but that they were holding the prisoners as hostages against further resistance. He also said there was a persistent rumor that the band would attack our village within the next day or two if the treasure was not delivered the following day. The messenger brought greetings from the captive people. Every man had offered his life for the protection of the village. The messenger was told that this sacrifice would not be necessary and that he could return with the thanks and deepest appreciation of the villagers for the proffered service. End of chapter 3.